Hello, my wonderful viewers, and welcome to another episode of Betty Adams Overanalyzes. Today we are going to take a fully spoilery look at Kaiju number 8, chapter 84. This chapter was a coming-of-ages story. Not a coming-of-age story, not the triumphant part where an individual learns to take responsibility for themselves. Rather, this is a coming-of-ages story. This is a Tolkienian cycling of the next age and passing of the old age story. That incredibly bittersweet pain of parting with your vision of the past and moving forward to something you don't know. This chapter is also about the classic old trope of the mad scientist wizard who makes their infiltration doppelganger just a little too well, and it fails them or turns on them. This chapter is also about C.S. Lewis's concept of friendship in his book, The Four Loves. How important it is as we age out of childhood to reach out and search the others around us for that one human in 1,000 who asks the same questions of reality, has the same goals in life, and is willing to walk beside us not just because they're bound by blood and genetics. That's a lot to pack into a chapter that is. Well, here come the spoilers. If you don't want any spoilers, you can go use the links below the video to get yourself a copy of my book, Dying Embers, Dragons, Aliens, and Things That Go Boom in the Night. Exciting news, I just got the manuscript for Flying Sparks past the second editing page, and we're getting closer to Dying Embers having a sibling. All right, ladies and gentlemexes, it is time to answer the question we have all been waiting for. How is Kikoru Shinomiya, the linchpin of the future defense force, going to overcome the perfectly designed attack that Kaiju number 9 birthed for her? How will she defeat the brainy ballerina who was sent to exploit her one true weakness? Ding, ding, ding! 20 points to whoever guessed the power of friendship. That sounds really simple, doesn't it? Simplistic even. Just another use of the second most overused trope in Shonen Jump history. To Deus Ex McFriendica a win out of the battle. It sounds like that, but it isn't. What Matsumoto pulled off, as we learned in the last chapter, was Kafka stepping in, not with his fists, which probably wouldn't have done much against Kaiju number 15 anyway with her core decentralization. This his anti-regeneration powers might have been useful for, but Kafka stepped in with his words and the carefully crafted friendship that Matsumoto has been building up from their very first interactions. As many of us have suspected, these specialized kaiju are just a little too specialized. Kaiju number 15 was made a perfect copy of Kikoru in order to exploit Kikoru's weakness, the absence of her father and mother and the gaping hole that left in her psyche. However, once that tactic failed, once Kikoru had reached out for support not just to her mother and father, but to the community of adults around her, Kaiju number 15 with her super specialized body had nothing that could take on Kikoru. One step out of the plan that Kaiju number 9 designed for her, one step away from that carefully constructed plan, and Kaiju number 15 is no longer a viable weapon. And then we see that she was not just a mindless weapon like previous Kaiju. She has even more complex emotions than Kaiju number 10 does. And that was and Kaiju number 10's emotional complexity was one of the first things Vice Captain Hoshina commented on. Kaiju number 15 was grown, was designed to feel that same hunger for the approval, for the praise, the glory of her father that Kikoru had. Because, of course, this would allow her to exploit it all the better. And boy and howdy, did Kaiju number 15 understand that. And this gives Kaiju number 15 actual motivations beyond simple survival and reproduction, or even Kaiju number 10's pre-programmed battle lust. Kaiju number 15, the brainy ballerina, absolutely craves the recognition of her own father. That is, the part of Kaiju number 9 that came from Iso Shinomiya. This is perhaps our first truly sympathetic moment with a kaiju, other than Little Guy. And once again, it goes back to the fact that these are every one of Kaiju number 9 super weapons. They're child soldiers, grown for a purpose and forced into battle. And this takes me back to my theory about little guy being a child soldier, about some of his reactions being explainable as being the mind of a toddler that is slowly developing. But back to the original point. That is it. Kafka tells Kokoro he believes in her. Kokoro parses that internally, and then Kokoro axes the brainy ballerina to bits. In real time, you are looking at maybe a heartbeat of time passing. In terms of pages, it's a mere 20, but there was so much in there. I think most of us will probably have in our minds an image of the passing of J.R.R. Tolkien's Ages of Middle-earth. The elves, not the wild young elves of the Second Age, but the graceful, fading elves at the end of the Third Age, sitting on their pale palfreys, drifting west across the waters, singing their faint songs that captivated the heart of Samwise Gamgee. This is perhaps one of the most poignant images in all fantasy, the passing of an age. Now, this is partially such a powerful image because we see it in reality. The great pyramids of Egypt, the countless lost cities hidden beneath the South American rainforests, even just the chill wind whispering out through Stonehenge on a drizzly day in Britain. Ages pass, civilizations crumble. But even more powerful in building this image is the fact that each one of us experiences this on our own small scale. There's an era we call childhood in our lives. Everything is simple. There is magic in the world. And slowly, ever so slowly, the elves pass out of the West and we are left longing after them. In a large part, this process is marked by our parents pulling out of our lives and leaving us to stand on our own, make our own doctor's appointment, make our own friends. And the hopeful note at the other side of this change is represented by the connections we make. We have work, friends, lovers. The world is scary and we no longer have the support that we did, but we find new sources of support. And friends, as C.S. Lewis says, a friendship that grows that same moment when you look at someone and think, I thought I was the only one. And if you recall back at the very beginning of Kafka and Kokoro's relationship, it started out with her gasping, looking at Kafka and thinking, him too? Everything in their relationship has been leading to this moment. So no, this is not just a standard Deus Ex Machina. This is a real and true representation of the fact that if we are to survive adulthood, we need to reach out and form those bonds with our community that can take the place of the ones we lost when we stepped out of childhood. But what do you think, my wonderful viewers? Please leave a comment below telling me what you thought about Kokoro busting out that axe and going nuts on Kaiju number 15. Go check out the link below the video to get yourself a copy of my book, Humans Are Weird. Let's work it out. Hit that like and subscribe button, and peace out, my wonderful viewers.